the haunted house has driven young Andre to brutally take the lives of his family. Everyone is compelled to harm each other without realizing what they're doing. The story begins with a family that has moved into the haunted house, unaware that they are about to face a demon. The main character, Ebony, and her younger son, Andre, are painting the room to Andre's liking. After calling him for dinner, Ebony moves forward. On the other hand, Ebony's mother, Alberta, is at church, listening to messages about Jesus. Her heart is touched by the voice of the messenger, and she momentarily forgets the terrible actions she has committed against Ebony. Later at the dining table, Alberta makes fun of Ebony's cooking skills, which are quite poor. The children are too afraid to speak ill of their mother because she wouldn't hesitate to knock their teeth out. Unfortunately, Andre demands milk, but Ebony refuses, prompting Andre to call her cheap. In a fit of anger, Ebony slaps him, making his lips bleed. She quickly realizes she has overreacted, her motherly instincts kick in, and she wipes off his blood and bandages him immediately. Alberta watches her with a suspicious eye but doesn't speak up because she knows her daughter is unpredictable. That night, Ebony's daughter, Shanta, discusses her mother's abnormal behavior and suspects she might be drinking again, which could be driving her to madness. While working, Ebony is annoyed by the flies coming from the basement. She tries to shoo them away but can't, so she decides to deal with them later, not realizing her negligence will put her family's life in danger. Sometime later, Andre wakes up to a demon's voice and goes downstairs to get some milk. After spilling it, he steps outside and notices a dead crow, a bad omen. The next day, as the kids are returning from school, a scoundrel bullies Nate. Nate, a coward, sneaks away, and his mother, who is already angry with him for hiding alcohol and a ransom amount, confronts him. Nate had stolen the bottle because he couldn't bear to watch his mother descend further into madness, and he goes inside. Ebony notices his injured head and, upon learning it was the act of a scoundrel, turns into a protective figure and starts beating the bully. After taking a few kicks and punches, the bully vows not to mess with Wonder Woman's kids again. Later, while smoking, Ebony notices a smell in the basement. Frustrated by the smell and the flies, she decides to finally deal with them. She also notices that Andre has been talking to an imaginary friend. She warns him not to create imaginary friends and tells him to come inside. At night, the demon's voice calls to Andre again, and he loses control over his body when he hears it. Ebony wakes up to the sound of something strange and sees that the basement door is open. The following day, when Alberta goes to the hospital for her cancer treatment, she discovers that Ebony has been paying the bills, which shocks her. She thought Medicaid was covering her expenses, but they had stopped paying the previous year. That night, when Ebony returns home, Alberta waits for her and shows gratitude with tearful eyes. Exhausted, Ebony goes to sleep, but she wakes up again in the middle of the night to a strange noise. She grabs a baseball bat, ready to confront a thief, but as she passes by the basement door, she feels nauseous. Just then, Nate arrives and demands the money his father sent him. Unable to bear any more torture, Nate decides to escape from his mother's hell. Hearing this, Ebony's darker side takes over because she can't let him leave her clutches. She starts beating him, but Nate pushes her away in self-defense, filled with hatred. Now, Ebony is completely unhinged and wants to beat Nate until she tires out. Fortunately, Andre falls and gets hurt by the baseball bat. Ebony's attention shifts to Andre, allowing Nate to run away. After some time, Ebony gives Nate his money and pleads with him not to leave her because she can't live without him. Nate doesn't react and pretends to be sleepy. The next day, Ebony calls a trash collector to check the basement. He finds a dead cat and demands money for its removal. Ebony refuses to pay, so Nate gives him money because the collector threatens to leave the dead cat in the basement again. Meanwhile, Cynthia arrives to check if the children are okay or if they are suffering under their mother's care. She notices bruises on Shanta's hands, but Shanta has no clue how they got there. Andre pretends he fell in the playground. Cynthia reveals that Ebony's husband has complained that Ebony beats their children, but Ebony tries to clear her name, claiming he is only trying to get custody of the kids. Cynthia accuses her because the bruises tell a different story, and Ebony herself has no idea how they appeared. It's Shanta's birthday party, and Ebony gives her a new cell phone, making Shanta jump with joy. The kids celebrate, and friends are invited. When it gets late, Ebony takes a mouse from Andre and tells him to go to sleep. Soon, she finds him in the basement, where he reveals to his mother that something mysterious lives in the basement hole and in his closet. She brushes it off and puts him back to bed. Sometime later, he's at the basement door again, and he has no idea what he's doing there. After the party, when Ebony tries to sleep, Andre keeps looking at the closet, and banging sounds emerge, triggering Ebony's darker side. She storms into the children's room and starts yelling at them. A few minutes later, Alberta rushes to the kids' room after hearing them scream for help. When she arrives, she sees Ebony in a state of shock, and the children are terrified. They reveal that their mother banged them against the wall and was yelling like a ghost. In anger, Alberta warns her to stay away from the kids. The next day, Alberta takes the kids to school, but a woman follows them, and Andre notices her. At school, the kids behave strangely. Andre starts defecating in front of the class, and when the teacher tries to stop him, he throws it at her face, causing chaos in the classroom. Meanwhile, Nate laughs maniacally, and Shanta starts bleeding. Even the teacher is scared and calls Ebony to check on them. Due to their strange behavior, the children are sent to the hospital for tests, which reveal that everything is normal. Hearing this, Ebony loses her temper because she can't believe Andre, who has eaten his own feces, is considered normal. Alberta calms the situation and takes her family home. Before leaving, she warns Ebony not to beat the children or she will take action against her. One thing that bothers Ebony is that Alberta used to beat her in the same way, so she wonders why Alberta is now showing mercy to her grandchildren. At home, Ebony is giving Andre a shower when she receives a call. While she steps away to take the call, something possesses Nate, and he starts drowning Andre in the bathtub. Hearing Andre's cries for help, Ebony rushes to the bathroom and saves him. It was difficult, but Andre survives. Nate is confused and terrified, as he can't comprehend how he could hurt his brother, knowing he wouldn't harm even an ant. When Cynthia is informed about the children's condition, she arrives again. Ebony shares her feelings, saying there's something mysterious in the house that she can't explain, but Cynthia doesn't believe her. Before Cynthia can take any action, Alberta appears with a baseball bat, and Cynthia decides to leave, knowing that Ebony's mother is extremely dangerous. Before leaving, she takes pictures, but Alberta gives her a hard time. After this, Alberta goes to the church and confides in the authorities about the haunted house, but they don't believe her and suggest she try another church. Meanwhile, Ebony goes to a bar to unwind. On her way out, she meets an apostle who performs a deliverance ritual to save her family from Satan. The apostle reveals that the house is haunted and that Ebony's children are in the grip of a demon, a situation that has happened before. Actually, the family who lived before Ebony was murdered in a mysterious way. Like Ebony, their children were also possessed, and they were unable to diagnose the disease, just as it's happening with Ebony. One night, the possessed wife mercilessly kills her husband by beheading him and also murders her children. After killing her family, she kills herself, and the demon becomes happy. The sad thing was that she couldn't save them because the demon was too powerful to defeat. Influenced by the story, Ebony inquires about the name of the kid who lived there. She is shocked to learn that his name was Trey, the same name as Andre's imaginary friend. However, she can't trust anyone and prefers to leave. The apostle gives her a card, knowing that soon Ebony will need to contact her. When she reaches home, another tragedy awaits her. In the house, Alberta hears a piercing voice, and Nate is also possessed by the demon. Alberta follows the voice when the lights start flickering. Just then, Nate appears, with a black aura emanating from his body, and he starts beating his grandmother. When Ebony arrives, she finds Alberta's dead body and starts weeping. She asks Andre about the incident, but he pretends not to know anything. Everything is in chaos, and Cynthia visits the house, noticing that the image of Jesus Christ has been burnt. Trying to avoid Cynthia's questions, Ebony takes her children away, but she doesn't know where to go. Andre, who is possessed by the demon, has his eyes turned black, and his voice has changed. He accuses Ebony of Alberta's death. Frightened by Andre's condition, she is scared to death and barely avoids a car accident. In a panic, she runs to a nearby bar and demands help, claiming someone is trying to snatch her children. When they check again, the children are fine and she is considered mad. Later, an investigator questions her, and she gives a wrong answer because she fears they will take her children away. Eventually, she tells them the truth about the haunted house. Cynthia visits her, and Ebony shares her grief, but no one believes her supernatural stories. Only she knows her children are in danger. Her children are taken to church foster care, and Ebony starts shouting, but no one cares. After some time, Ebony moves to see the apostle and shares her problems. She also reveals a terrible past in which a man raped her and her mother was involved. The apostle consoles her, promising to make her strong and help save her children. In the hospital, Andre is acting weirdly. His body is jerking uncontrollably, and many people try to subdue him. Cynthia visits, and Andre's voice changes again, revealing something about her son. She is shocked to hear it, but Andre shocks her further by escaping from the straps holding him down. He then starts climbing the wall like a spider. Cynthia rushes to the doctor, explaining that something is wrong with Andre because no child can free himself and act like a demon. Meanwhile, Ebony has already arrived, dressed as a nurse. She pretends to be calm and takes her child away with the apostle's help. She is lucky because Andre is sleeping, and the demon doesn't reveal its evil side. They take him to the cursed house and bind him to the bed. The apostle warns Ebony not to listen to him because he will transform into her relatives to gain favor. Then she starts the deliverance, throwing holy water on Andre. His body starts burning, and he transforms into Alberta, cursing Ebony for being a half-breed. Ebony weeps while the apostle throws more holy water. Meanwhile, Nate and Shantae's conditions are also worsening. Andre, in Alberta's form, frees himself and laughs, knowing he is stronger than the apostle. Suddenly, the house starts shaking, and the apostle tells Ebony to go upstairs and not come down until called. The demon then begins torturing the apostle, throwing her around like trash. He drags her by her hair and beats her mercilessly. The apostle has no choice but to embrace death. At the same time, blood pours from Shantae's eyes, and Nate scratches his chest violently, tearing off his shirt. Both are in terrible pain. Eventually, Ebony comes downstairs as the apostle is taking her last breath. The apostle gives Ebony holy water and encourages her to fight the demon because only she can save her son. After saying this, she dies, and Ebony prepares to face the demon. Andre appears, and Ebony orders him to leave her son, but he disappears, leading her to the basement where the demon resides. Once there, the demon tries to overpower her, telling her no one loves her, but Ebony knows her mother loves her. She throws holy water on the demon, who takes the form of Ebony. The demon drags her to the floor, choking her. Suddenly, the demon steps aside, but soon, Ebony's body begins to break apart. She feels unbearable pain all over, and the demon puts his foot on her neck. Just when he thinks she's dead, Ebony reaches for the cross and starts praising Jesus, who helps her. Even the demon pleads with her to let him go, but she doesn't stop until the demon dies. Suddenly, the ground opens, and the demon is buried where he belongs. After this, Ebony successfully saves her children, as their pain and possession are gone, and they are free. 6 months later, custody of the children is given back to Ebony, and then she has decided to live with her husband because her children are happy with their father. If you like this movie, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel.